2023's Gran Turismo is making a pit stop at a theater near you on August 25th, but I got the chance to see it a couple weeks early, and obviously I took that chance, so I will be reviewing it for you today. I'll be starting with the plot synopsis and the cast, then the positives and negatives, then I'll end the review with my ranking. So without further ado, let's get into my review for Gran Turismo tells the true story of Jan Mardenborough, a racing gamer turned real-life race car driver, who gets his opportunity when he's entered in a contest to the best Gran Turismo players in the world to see which one of them can handle themselves behind the wheel. Getting into the cast, starting with Jan Mardenborough himself, we have Archie Madekwe. As motorsport marketing executive Danny Moore, we have Orlando Bloom. As the racing trainer Jack Salter, we have David Harbour. And as Jan's father, Steve Mardenborough, we have Demon Hansu. Getting into the positives, first and probably most obvious one being the racing scenes. In the racing scenes, the visual effects, cinematography, and editing all flow together seamlessly, which makes those scenes feel very engaging, tense, and high energy. I also think it's really cool that the real Jan Mardenborough played the stunt double for Archie Madekwe in this film. So essentially, Jan Mardenborough is playing himself in the movie. So as far as the racing scenes go, I really don't think they're going to disappoint. Next positive is the cast. I think every actor involved gave a great performance. As far as standouts go, I think Archie Madekwe is fantastic as Jan Mardenborough. He nails the humor, energy, and emotion that not only the character, but also story required. I also think David Harbour is a big standout as Jack Salter, a character actually created for the film. Like Madekwe, I thought Harbour brought the energy, the emotion, and especially the humor because it's David Harbour and he's hilarious.
You puked on my lawn.
But when it comes to Harbour's character, I do feel he's at his best when he's interacting with Madekwe's character. The two of them have really great chemistry on screen. As for actors like Orlando Bloom or Demon Hansu, they also do great in the film, just don't get quite as much to do as those first two characters I mentioned. And the same kind of goes for the rest of the cast there, they don't get quite as much to do, but everybody does a good job in the end. But the last positive I have for you is going to be the story. The story, of course, is very inspiring. It's also very exciting and also very emotional. It is based on a true story, so depending on how much you know about the true story, it might not be as compelling to you. But as for myself, I really didn't know much going into the film, so I thought it was pretty compelling. When it comes to the story, I was invested in it. I was invested in the characters, especially Jan Mardenborough. I wanted to see him overcome the challenges put in front of him. And then the story gave us some really emotional elements to it that I wasn't expecting. Those hit me pretty hard. Those had me even more invested. So overall, when it comes to the story, I think it's one worth telling. But alright folks, that's all I have for my positives, so let's get into my negatives. First and biggest one being the pacing. The first half of this movie moves by really quick, so stuff like Jan's home life or training seem to be kind of rushed through. By the time you get to that second act, it does slow down just enough to let more dramatic elements sink in. In the end, I really would have liked that first half of the film to take its time a little bit more. Establish not only the character, but also his skill. Because I feel like his skill in racing is something we really didn't even see that much in the beginning. It's just something we kind of knew about and saw just enough of to know that he's good. But the second and final negative I have is that this film is based on a true story, which means that there are elements of it that are completely made up for the film. Now, I will say that elements of it that were made up for the film did help the film overall and make it more entertaining, especially the addition of the Jack Salter character played by David Harbour. Like I said in the beginning, that character is made up for this movie, and he is a supporting character. In fact, I would say he's the main supporting character to Jan Mardenborough. And I will be honest, to have a character like Jack Salter in this movie be completely made up does cheapen the experience a little bit. It cheapens the story, it cheapens the emotion. Then I do a little bit of other research and find out that there's other story elements throughout that were made up for the film as well. And overall, those don't really bother me quite as much as the whole Jack Salter thing. And even the Jack Salter thing doesn't bother me that much. But still, when you're trying to have these emotional moments between characters or emotional story elements, just to find out that it might not even be true, it does cheapen the experience, it does cheapen the emotion, and it makes you wonder what else isn't true throughout the film. But that's all I have for my positives and negatives, so without further ado, let's get into my ranking. When it comes to my ranking of 2023's Gran Turismo, I'm going to go ahead and give the movie a standard ticket. There's a lot to like about the movie. It's got some great acting, filmmaking, and storytelling. But the lack of historical accuracy, and especially the pacing, holds this movie back from being a premium ticket. But those are just my opinions on 2023's Gran Turismo, and I'd love to see yours down in the comments below. Did you see the film early too? What did you think? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Are you in the middle? Have you not seen it? Are you planning on watching it in the theater, at home, or not at all? Really, any comments you have for me, I would love to hear from you. I respond to as much as I can. But do me a favor and use the subscribe button as a car, use the like button as a speed boost, and ring the bell to finish in first place.
Pretty music.